because we don't want Rupert in South Africa.
I thought you were just in China.
Yes. Yeah.
Long flight.
Long flight. Well, we went home from China.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. Today is the day that we have all been waiting for. Ramaphosa will be meeting with Donald Trump to discuss a whole range of issues ranging from the Israel matter at the ICC, the white Afrikaner farmers genocide, Starlink, and other issues the US and South Africa have been having problems with. The president of South Africa made a trip to the United States of America to be able to engage with Donald Trump and his cabinet. Now, as he made that trip, he went along with some of the ministers, talk about Pakstow, Ronald Lamola, and John Steenhuisen, to mention a few. So they are going there to be able to convince Donald Trump to say that stop with that misinformation that you are having, because we need a proper relationship between the two countries. We don't want what is going on, the friction between the two. We just want peace. Let us move forward on one agreement. You know, as we are looking at these people that Ramaphosa is going with, there are people that were not mentioned. We are only learning today that Ramaphosa is being accompanied by the richest person in South Africa. That is Johan Rupert, with a wealth of around 12 billion US dollars. That is a very rich man. So reports are that he's a decider in this meeting. And in fact, he's the one who made sure that the meeting between Cyril Ramaphosa and Donald Trump happens. If it was not for Johan Rupert, Donald Trump would probably have said to Ramaphosa that, wait, I am not interested in meeting you. So before we really look into this thing of Ramaphosa and Johan Rupert with Donald Trump, I want us to first listen to Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State in the US. He was being grilled about this issue of the white genocide, and his answers are really problematic to the meeting that we are going. I mean, if this man was really interested in having peace, in resolving the issues that they are having with South Africa, he wouldn't go there just 24 hours before they have a real meeting. He wouldn't go there and speak the way he's speaking about South Africa. Just listen.
Mr. John Steenhuisen. He is the leader of the former Afrikaner Party, still widely representing Afrikaners. He is the Minister of Agriculture in South Africa right now. I assert that this claim that there's persecution of Afrikaner farmers is completely specious. Are you aware ever during the apartheid era in South Africa did the United States establish a special program to allow South African blacks who were treated as second-class citizens in the apartheid program, a special program so they could claim refugee status in the United States?
No, because I was probably in 9th grade or 8th grade at the time.
Well, then I don't expect you to know. I'll just tell you, never.
Well, no, I would say that the United States,
a very easy thing
the United States has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United States.
Even based on the color of somebody's skin.
You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These
You're
are people whose
refusing to
farms were being
acknowledge
burned
that
down
it
and they were
should be
killed because of the
even-handed.
color of their skin.
Well, listening to the video, if any, this is one reason we should really be scared about the meeting, because it looks like these guys are setting Ramaphosa up. And it's probably giving us a reason why the billionaire Johan Rupert is there. But let us listen to what the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, one of the oppositions in the Parliament of South Africa, is saying about the inclusion of Johan Rupert, the billionaire, in this meeting. So the EFF says that the EFF condemns the inclusion of billionaire Johan Rupert in South Africa's delegation to meet US President Donald Trump. This move represents the capture of democracy by wealthy elites and undermines the sovereignty of both nations. Rupert and Elon Musk, both racist capitalists, have no mandate to influence South Africa's laws or policies. The EFF warns against any backroom deals that threatens land reform, economic justice, and national independence. Parliament, not billionaires, must determine our country's future. That is what the EFF is saying in relation to Johan Rupert being part of that delegate. Well, one thing we know about it is that Johan Rupert is probably not going to be part of the Oval Office. He's in the background. His meeting is probably already done because he has to go there and influence Donald Trump to say that we want peace. But at what cost? That is the question that we really need to look at.
There is a guy called Johan Rupert. who controls South Africa, who controls Ramaphosa, Tito Mboweni, Trevor Manuel, Jamnandas Godan. This guy, Rupert, says if we don't stop our nonsense, he's going to leave. I want to call upon South Africans. Let us speed up the process of accompanying Rupert to the airport, because we don't want Rupert in South Africa. That's what we've been saying about these fellows. They are not South Africans. That's why every moment they say, we will leave. Leave to where? If you are South African. We, South Africans, whether the times are bad or good, we are South Africans.
One of the things that President Cyril Ramaphosa did when he arrived in the US is to have a meeting with Elon Musk. Very interesting. We have a big problem here, and one of the people that he addresses, he has a meeting with, is Elon Musk, the person who's really pushing that misinformation. And reports coming out is that there is a deal between Elon Musk and South African president to say that, well, we are going to ease those restrictions to Starlink. He might get away with it. He might have the same deals as big companies like Google, like Amazon. They might go as far as saying that we need to work around it. Instead of saying that 30%, let us work the same way people like Google are doing, by saying that they will have to contribute a lot to the development of the country, the economy. Make sure that you play a vital role in the development, so that we are going to say, well, you don't have to really go as far as saying 30% or the stricter laws. We are going to make it easy for you so that you can benefit, we benefit. And that is going to be a slap in the face of many South Africans and other overseas investors. Because when you look at it, some had to go through this 30%, and now Elon Musk is not going to go through it, just because this guy is closer to Donald Trump and they were pushing the misinformation. The use of X, which is owned by Elon Musk, has been a pain on the foot of the president of South Africa.
And they'll join us. Yeah. Wonderful. That we could meet here in New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really welcome this opportunity.
All right.
Come join us, ministers. Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Let's all stand together. And you are the flower. We are the thorny roses. We are the thorny roses.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for coming up to my room.
I said you're just trying to
Yes. Yeah.
long flight.
Long flight. Well, we went home from China, United Nations, and when you do get into public office, which you...
And it's going to be like, it's going to be pretty fun. Yeah.
I'm
Be like, wow. I'm just going to get like.
Now, the big question here is that how will Johan Rupert influence Donald Trump to ease up on his problems that he's having against South Africa? We know he's having this thing of the white genocide. We know they are not really saying it, but the ICC, the case against Israel that South Africa took up, is one of the majors. So when one is looking at this, we really have to question ourselves, especially the fact that South Africa, amongst all the countries, they decided to stand up and take the case against Israel. We are not powerful. We are very weak. The only thing that we have is that we fought against apartheid and we won. People like Nelson Mandela, the icons, they are no longer alive. Those are the ones that made sure that they fight the oppression. Now South Africa decided to take a case against Israel. No any other country decided to stand up, but we did. We know that Israel and United States of America, they are very good friends. So if you touch Israel, it means you are really playing a game with the US. And don't forget, we are part of BRICS. We are there with China, we are there with Russia, We are there with India. So you look at this, we are there with Brazil also. You look at this and you realize that all those bigger countries, because we are the least powerful amongst them all those guys did not stand up and say, we are taking a case against Israel, but we did. Why are we taking a case when we know for sure that we don't have any resource? If Israel today says, well, I'm going to bomb South Africa because they're trying to be smart, we don't have the resource to fight. But now, why are we taking a case when we know that we are not only going to fight with Netanyahu, we are going to fight with Donald Trump? You might wonder why I'm raising this issue. One of the conditions that will push Donald Trump to listen to Cyril Ramaphosa is the case of ICC. They are going to tell Ramaphosa that, you know what, you must drop the case so that we can understand each other. We don't mind dropping this thing of white farmers being persecuted. We don't mind to drop the genocide issue because we know it's a misinformation. But if you don't drop the case, you have a bigger problem. And you look at Ramaphosa, he's standing between a rock and a hard place because you try to be a bigger man. You try to show the world that South Africa fought apartheid. They're going to shake up Israel. Now, it is coming to backfire. And a lot of people are really saying that we shouldn't back out. We should continue with the ICC. But you look at it, what are the implications on the economy of South Africa? Already unemployment is high. If ever we want to challenge the United States of America and the West, we really need to look at ourselves and work on our economy. You really cannot fight when you can't even offer 40% of your people jobs. Our unemployment is going there at around 40%, but you want to challenge the US. I think Ramaphosa really has a lot to do, and the inclusion of Johan Rupert is to say that I'm Johan Rupert. I have a lot of business in farming. I make a lot of money. My billions come from all the businesses in South Africa. And if Donald Trump decides that the tariffs are going up, and if he decides that AGOA goes off and other restrictions are imposed on South Africa and the economy, I am going to suffer. That is why it is very vital for me to make a meeting between them, because I know that white farmers are not being killed. I know that there is no genocide because I'm Afrikaner too. So I want Donald Trump to be listened to, and whatever he wants, let us agree to it so that we can move on. That is why I'm saying we're between a rock and a hard place, because South Africans need jobs. The US really contributes a lot, around 260,000 jobs that they are contributing to the country. Let us say that they decide I'm pulling back. All those people that are jobless are going to blame our government because already we can't even give anybody jobs. They are going to pull out and we become jobless. But again, is it worth it to risk our sovereignty? Is it worth it for Ramaphosa to be looked at as a clown, as a puppet? Because people are going to say, you've always submitted to the West. And his presidency is going to be characterized by weak men, not COVID-19, weak men who listened and submitted to Donald Trump. He has a choice. You either become a hero or a puppet. The question is the inclusion of Johan Rupert going to turn Ramaphosa into a hero or a puppet? That we wait to see, as they are going to be meeting later on. Hopefully, for the sake of South Africa, nothing tragic happens between the two. Because if the orange man gets angry, the rand is going to react. It is not going to be nice. Anyway, guys, the best thing you can do to this channel is to keep subscribing so we can hit that 250k subscribers. And until next time, cheers.
South Africans. There's just so many of you around here. How are you, Minister? Very well. Huh? There's so many South Africans here. And there's one of them there, and everywhere else.